Breaking news just moments ago, the White House announced the president will address the nation tomorrow night at 9 about the war. John Berman here in for Anderson, and we will talk about that more about that. Has already said today on the subject, including who needs a deal to end the war in Iran, who needs the Strait of Hormuz for that matter, and who needs to change a regime the president called on Iranians to overthrow within hours of starting the war. Tonight, the president had stunning answers to all three, also on the timeline for ending the war.
I would say that within 2 weeks, maybe 3. We're hitting them very hard. Last night, we knocked out tremendous amounts of missile-making facilities, as you probably read or wrote. We knocked out, excuse me?
Pardon me for interrupting. The U.S. will be gone or done with the war in 2 or 3
I think
weeks?
2 or 3 weeks.
Not 3 weeks. If it is
we'll
3
leave,
weeks,
because there's no reason for us to do this.
Okay, that's not especially surprising. The administration has been talking about a 4 to 6 week time scale for combat operations. What is surprising, though, is this.
Iran doesn't have to make a deal, no. Yeah, I've spoken to a lot of people. No, they don't have to make a deal with me. When we feel that they are, for a long period of time, put into the Stone Ages, and they won't be able to come up with a nuclear weapon, then we'll leave. Whether we have a deal or not, it's irrelevant.
Whether or not we have a deal is irrelevant. That is a striking thing to say, if only because it wasn't so long ago that it seemed like all the president could talk about was talking to Iran.
Well, they want to make a deal so badly. You have no idea how badly they want to make a deal.
So they want to make a deal. The reason they want to make a deal is they have been just beat to. So we've had very good negotiations today with Iran, getting a lot of the things that they should have given us a long time ago.
Okay, so negotiations are no longer a big deal. What about securing the Strait of Hormuz? After all, just yesterday morning, the president was saying this online. If the Hormuz Strait is not immediately open for business, we will conclude our lovely stay in Iran by blowing up and completely obliterating all of their electric generating plants, oil wells, and Karg Island, and possibly all desalinization plants. That was the president just yesterday. And today?
I think that the people understand it. We'll be leaving very soon, and if France or some other country wants to get oil or gas, they'll go up through the strait and Hormuz Strait. They'll go right up there, and they'll be able to fend for themselves. I think it'll be very safe, actually, but we have nothing to do with that. What happens to the strait, we're not going to have anything to do with.
The U.S., he says, will have nothing to do with keeping the strait open. Just a day ago, he was threatening to commit what some legal scholars say would be war crimes to do exactly that. And what about Iran's ruling Islamic revolutionary regime? Well, when the war began, he was calling on Iranians to change it.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
So that was just hours after launching the airstrikes. A little more than a month later, he dropped this bomb on that notion.
We had to take a little detour because we had a madman named Khomeini who sadly is no longer with us. And we had regime change already. We've knocked out one regime, then we knocked out the second regime. Now we have a group of people that are very different. They're much more reasonable, I think much less radicalized. We have had regime change. We're dealing with people that are much more rational, and it's amazing what we've done.
What has been done is certainly not nothing. Between American and Israeli strikes, the entire upper layer of the regime has been eliminated, but the regime remains, and the new leaders have not shown themselves to be markedly different from the old ones. Perhaps the president sees something in Iran's new rulers that the rest of the world does not or has not yet. That's unclear. What we do know is what the president does see, and this could be driving his decisions as much as anything else is tonight.